Okay, picture this for a second. You got a 4-year-old somewhere in America totally singing their heart out to Golden, right? The theme song from Netflix's K-pop Demon Hunters. Or maybe think about this massive rocket, starship. After failure after failure, finally just nails a mission.
Right, finally gets it right.
Exactly. These feel like separate things, but they're really not. Today, on the Deep Dive, we're going to unpack a whole stack of recent news, pop culture, tech breakthroughs, global politics.
And connect those dots.
Yeah, connect the dots. Find those little nuggets of insight that, really show you what's shifting in the world.
That's the goal, because when you step back and see how these different stories link up, you get a much clearer picture of the forces at play. We want to help you find those aha moments.
Definitely. So let's dive in. Okay, let's start with that kid singing K-pop. That TikTok video of the 4-year-old obsessed with K-pop Demon Hunters, or Kitty Han. It got something like 230,000 likes.
Wow.
Yeah. And it's more than just a cute video, right?
Yeah.
It feels like a symbol of this K generation people are talking about. These young global fans just completely immersed in Korean culture.
It's pretty striking, the speed and the cultural depth of Kim Tae-hyun's success. It wasn't just popular, it was Netflix's most watched film globally within 2 months. That's huge. Yeah, since its release June 20th. And the soundtrack, the OST, it just swept the English-speaking music charts. People compare it to Disney's Frozen, Let It Go mania from, 11 years back.
Sorry, I remember that.
Right. But Kim Tae-hyun might actually be potentially more significant in a way because it's plugged directly into that existing very active K-pop fan culture. It encourages participation, not just watching.
Okay, so how are we seeing that play out globally, like concrete examples?
Well, get this. The weekend of August 23rd, 24th, you had these Kim Tae-hyun sing-along screenings in 1,700 theaters across North America.
Wow.
Yeah, fans dressed up as characters, waving light sticks. The whole K-pop concert experience. The Empire State Building even did a special light show for the premiere.
Seriously. The Empire State Building.
Yep. And Box Office Mojo figured it pulled in around $18 million in just those 2 days. #1 at the box office.
Incredible.
And here's maybe the real aha moment you mentioned. The Korean phrase, 영원히 가질 수 없는.
Which means?
Unbreakable forever.
Yeah.
It actually started trending on Google because fans outside Korea were actively looking for transliterations, how to write it in English letters so they could sing along. People post them on Reddit asking for help.
That shows real dedication. It's not just humming the tune.
Exactly. And the fandom is just incredibly broad. You've got toddlers sort of babbling along, teenagers copying the dance moves of the K-pop idols in the movie.
Right.
Even Nobel laureate James Robinson admitted he watched it 5 times with his son.
No way.
Yeah. And the New York Times picked up on this, too, talking about millennial parents kind of reliving their own 90s boy band nostalgia through it. It's managed to hit this sweet spot, appealing across generations. It's not just a kids thing parents tolerate. It taps into nostalgia while feeling fresh for kids.
That's fascinating. So, okay, beyond the cultural buzz, what about the actual economic impact in Korea? Is this translating into tourism dollars?
Oh, absolutely. It's tangible. Places shown in the film Naksan Park, Bucheon Hanak Village, Namsan Seoul Tower, they're becoming pilgrimage sites for fans.
Really?
Yeah. Social media posts about Naksan Park apparently doubled between June and August compared to last year. The Seoul Tourism Foundation is even setting up special photo zones.
Right.
And the numbers from Create Trip, which is a local tourism platform, for the month right after the release. Wow. They're pretty wild. Hanbok rentals, the traditional clothing, up 30%.
Okay.
Traditional bathhouse experiences, session up 84%, and K-pop dance classes. Bookings by American tourists jumped 400%, Taiwanese tourists 575%.
Wow, those are huge jumps.
Huge. And even the food. Gimbap, gukbap, ramyeon, snacks featured in the film are flying off shelves. Nongshim, the big snack company, is even launching Kim Tae-hyun-themed Shin Ramyeon and Siwukhae.
So it's turning into a whole economic engine.
Yeah.
But how did it manage that? How did it break out beyond just the hardcore K-pop fans? What does this mean for the next K-wave?
Well, it's a really interesting case study. The initial boost, that came from the existing K-pop fans. Viewing minutes quadrupled fast, 250 million to 1 billion weekly, mostly just word of mouth.
Right.
But the film itself was cleverly designed, tapping into fan culture, encouraging discussions about favorite characters, social media sharing, fan covers of the songs, dance challenges. It created the snowball effect.
Pulling in the more casual viewers.
Exactly. pop culture critic Kim Hyun-sik talked about this expansion, saying the film's themes of healing and growth and the message of not being alone just resonated widely.
Things people can connect with anywhere.
Right. The BBC said something similar, that the journey of growth theme works even if you know nothing about K-pop or Korea. And strategically. For Netflix, this is big. K-Hyun is original content, and it positions them to genuinely challenge Disney in animation. They're already looking at sequels, live-action versions, musicals, tons of merchandise. They've trademarked everything. They're building an empire.
Okay, so from global culture, let's shift gears a bit to the tech world. High stakes there, too. NVIDIA's Q2 earnings report came out August 27th. Leading up to it, AI stocks were, on fire.
Absolutely rallying, yeah.
But then NVIDIA, even though they actually beat the overall revenue and earnings estimates, which you think would be great news,
right,
their stock dropped 3.44%
in
after-hours trading. What happened there?
Yeah, that caught people's attention. It's all about the details with a company like NVIDIA right now. The market wasn't just looking at the top line. They were zeroed in on the data center revenue.
The AI engine, basically.
Exactly. And while it hit a new record, $41.1 billion, it fell just slightly short of what the market expected, which was this incredibly high number, $41.3 billion.
So a tiny miss triggered that drop.
Pretty much,
Yeah.
because NVIDIA is such a huge part of the S&P 500 and the indicator for the whole AI theme, that slight miss signaled perhaps that the rocket ride might be leveling off a bit. Investors are getting much more critical, demanding perfection, especially in those core AI areas. It's a sign the AI investment frenzy is maybe maturing.
A reality check,
Yeah.
even for the giants. Okay, so while NVIDIA faced that pressure, another big tech player, SpaceX, had a major win, finally breaking a streak of, pretty explosive failures. Starship, that 10th uncrewed test flight on August 26th, that was a huge success story after, 9 previous attempts, with flights 7, 8, and 9 ending dramatically. Right, lots of fireworks. So what made this one different?
Well, 2 key things. First, the big booster, the super heavy first stage, it separated cleanly about 3 minutes in, and then did a controlled splashdown in the Gulf of Mexico. They got great data from that.
Okay.
But the really critical part, the second stage, the Starship itself, it reached orbit, and for the very first time, it successfully deployed 8 dummy satellites. It was simulating a Starlink launch.
Something that hadn't worked before.
Exactly. A door malfunction stopped it last time. So proving they can deploy satellites like this, that's a massive milestone for Starship becoming commercially viable. It shows it can launch bigger, more advanced satellites way more efficiently than, say, the Falcon 9. That's a huge potential revenue stream for SpaceX down the line.
Right, the business side.
Yeah. And of course, there's the bigger picture. Starship, this thing is enormous, 123 meters tall.
Taller than the Statue of Liberty, I read.
Right. It's key for NASA's Artemis program, getting humans back to the moon by, I think the target is 2027 now.
Yeah.
And then there's Elon Musk's vision, launching Starship, over 24 times in 24 hours in 6 or 7 years.
Ambitious, as always. But this success is a big step.
A huge step. Shows real perseverance.
Okay, let's bring it back down to earth for our last segment. Geopolitics. President Lee got back to Seoul on August 28th after a pretty quick trip, 3 nights, 6 days, to the U.S. and Japan.
That's right. It included his first summit with President Trump, focused on strengthening the ROK-U.S. alliance, building some trust there. And just before that, on August 23rd, he met with Japan's Prime Minister, Ishiba Shigeru. So, key diplomatic moves.
But speaking of Prime Minister Ishiba, things in Japan seem pretty shaky politically for him right now.
Yeah, that's putting it mildly. He's facing intense pressure to resign. They've had a string of election losses. The lower house last October, the Tokyo Assembly in June, and then the upper house election just last month. It's been rough.
So what's the next shoe to drop there?
Well, everyone's waiting for this internal report from his party, the LDP, analyzing that July upper house defeat. It's due out September 2nd. And how that report frames his responsibility for the loss, combined with this ongoing political funds scandal involving the Abe faction, that's going to heavily influence whether the party pushes for an early leadership election.
And if they do.
His chances of winning that are seen as pretty low right now. There's internal fighting. Some want a general election instead. The opposition is worried about paralysis. It's messy. And his recent focus on improving ties with South Korea is kind of an interesting side note in all this uncertainty.
Right. Meanwhile, President Lee comes home to his own challenges.
Yeah.
Reviewing the trip, other domestic issues. And he needs to work with the new leader of the People Power Party, Jang Dong-hyuk.
Exactly. Lee has said he wants to communicate and cooperate, so we'll have to see how that relationship develops amidst everything else. It's a busy time.
So what a ride today. We went from a K-pop cartoon taking over the world and boosting an entire country's tourism to the super fine-grained details of NVIDIA's earnings and what that means for the AI market.
Right, the market reality check.
And then SpaceX's Starship finally making this huge leap after so many setbacks.
A real moment of triumph there.
And finishing up with the complex political pressures facing leaders in Japan and the diplomatic balancing act for President Lee.
It really underscores how connected everything is, doesn't it? You see how a cultural hit can ripple through an economy, how tech advancements shift industries, and how political stability or instability impacts global cooperation. They aren't separate silos at all.
Absolutely. It's all interwoven. So here's something to think about as you go. What little cultural trend or maybe a small tech breakthrough happening right now, what could that be? Quietly reshaping our world for tomorrow in ways we just can't see yet.
Yeah, how might entertainment, space, politics keep bumping into each other in unexpected ways?
Keep your eyes open. The next big story is always unfolding.